Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Oh, Cedric, you okay? My dog okay? Okay, Cedric, you okay? Alright, anyway, like I said, welcome back to the channel. Today I am deviating a little bit from my usual because there has been something over the last several months that I've always thought about, and now that I have a channel I can finally, talk about it, I guess. But I've noticed that there's a shocking amount of Jeffreys out there. Famous Jeffreys. Not to say that all Jeffreys are bad, but there seems to be a lot of Jeffreys, famous Jeffreys out there who range from just being just flat out horrible people, like the one I'm talking about in today's video, and just just plain creepy. So in the next few days I will be releasing videos strictly about this thing I can only call as the Jeffrey coincidence. Like I say, this isn't to say that all Jeffreys are bad. My dog keeps trying to get pets. Excuse me. That doesn't say that all Jeffreys in the world are bad. I'm just saying that five different ones that I can literally name, without having to think of, are there any more? That seems like a lot, so I just really want to discuss it. So this first episode will be about one of the more well-known ones on this list, obviously being Jeffrey Dahmer. So since I said Jeffrey Dahmer, you should know that there will be trigger warnings for this episode of my little Jeffrey coincidence series I'm going to be doing in the next few days. And that would include stuff like murder and abuse and assault, that kind of thing. I can't recall if there's any others in that, but I would assume if you clicked on this video, you would know what you're in for. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so to really get an idea of who Jeffrey Dahmer was, though I'm pretty sure pretty much everybody in America knows who this monster is. Jeffrey Dahmer was a serial killer that in Milwaukee. He was also known as the Milwaukee Monster. He murdered up to 17 known victims, and he also has other crimes that aren't murder that included other victims, but like I said, not murder, but still horrible, like assault, and also his target usually was young black gay men, and with Dahmer specifically, for him, from my understanding, for him, who he targeted was based off of wanting sexual control over the victim, and we know Dahmer was gay, so obviously he would only target those who were willing to actually do stuff with him, but basically that's what Dahmer is, a serial killer, and he didn't kill to kill, he just wanted sexual control. It's messed up, and yeah, that's oof. So Jeffrey was born on May 21st, 1960 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to parents Lionel Dahmer and Joyce Dahmer. And he would have one brother named David Dahmer, who is still alive. I believe he actually legally changed his name so he could separate himself from his brother, which honestly, can you blame his brother for wanting to just get space from all this infamy that the Dahmer family has, though it's really only Jeffrey who did anything messed up. And basically, alright. So basically, basically the signs were definitely there, in childhood and stuff, he was interested in roadkill, and in his teen years, he was just on a full spiral. I don't know, you can tell, you just know it was different times when you hear that he was able to just drink alcohol in class, and the teachers barely even paid attention to that. Like, my gosh. Like, eventually, though, once he was, when he was 18, he, committed his first murder. And, I'm just gonna list the 17 known victims. We don't know if there was more than 17. If there was, Dahmer never mentioned in the multiple interviews he's had. But I do want to keep this video short, hence why I'm not going to go to, like, a deep dive of his life and stuff. Or, like, too much of a deep dive on the victims, though definitely the spotlight should be on the victims. Hence why, you know, they're called the victims, like... But, like, I would have to say, though, like, while we're still more so into, like, his youth and, like, when he was a kid before he started doing, like, really bad stuff, like, I feel like when it comes to these kind of people, like, serial killers and stuff, like, I feel like you can feel bad for the kid, but once you get to when they're older and they're doing all this horrible stuff, there should be no sympathy. Like, there shouldn't be. Maybe work to understand what creates, like, this whole mess that causes the person to do that, sure, maybe, but, like, there should be no sympathy for, like, the adult. Like, not only, like, I do feel bad for the kid, because, I mean, something had to have happened, like, something must have been off when growing up to, like, cause this. Like, you feel bad for the kids, and this stuff was happening when they were younger, but once you get to when Dahmer was 18 and he murdered his first victim, that's all out the window, that's all out. No, throw in the garbage, you know. But, so I'm just gonna quick list our 17 known victims and the year that, they were allegedly murdered. I say allegedly because, like, I mean, Dahmer did actually confess to all 17 of these, but sometimes you gotta wonder if, like, the date is actually correct or not. But anyways, and also, if I mispronounce any of these names, I'm, like, so sorry. Like, a couple of these I'll probably only mispronounce because I have terrible handwriting. So, first in 1978, which started it off, was Stephen Hicks. And then he had, like, a cool down period of almost a decade where he then killed Stephen Tuomi. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced these again, like. And then 1988, James Doxtator. I'm so sorry for that. I feel like I'm going to be mispronouncing most of these, and I feel so bad. Alright, 1989 was Richard Guerrero. Also in 1989, Anthony Sears. Raymond Smith, also known as Ricky Beeks, if I'm pronouncing. I'm pretty sure he went by that. In 1990, also in 1990, includes Edward Smith, who is not at all related to Raymond Smith. They just happen to have the same last name. There is no familial relation between Raymond and Edward. And then there's Ernest Miller in 1990 also. Then David Thomas, which ends, like, his 1990 section of his murder spree. And I'm trying to remember which one of these guys. Like, I want to say it's Ernest Miller that was, like, deaf, but I'd have to double check because, I mean, I don't want to say that I mixed them up in my head, but, I mean, because I would feel bad if I said that, but I don't recall which one was the deaf one. Like, Cedric, are you okay? Alright, whatever. 1991 included Curtis Straughter, Errol Lindsay, Tony Hughes. Tony Hughes! He was, I'm sorry, Tony Hughes. He was the that's because out of all Dahmer's victims, like, Tony Hughes is one of the most talked about ones, right? I'm pretty sure he's the one that was deaf. I'm sorry. I think, yeah. And then, there was, I'm so sorry, this one, I'm gonna mispronounce this one very bad, Conorak, Smith, something, I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce this, the last name. I can pronounce the first name, Conorak, but I can't pronounce that last name, mostly because I have terrible handwriting, but That's also 1991. Matt Turner, Jeremiah Weinberger, Oliver Lacey, and Joseph Bradhoft were all 1991. And then his murder spree came to an end when he tried bringing back another guy. And this one, for once, one of these guys, the second they walked into Dahmer's apartment, he was like, oh, this is weird, gotta get out. And he went to go to get the police when Dahmer tried to handcuff him. And I know I'm not saying the name, but I did not write down the name. And, you know, there's a lot of names to keep track of, which I feel bad for saying. But at the same time, like, it does show just how many people Dahmer, like, murdered. And that's just... yeah. Yeah. Now, once Dahmer was caught, he was, of course, arrested, put to trial, and he did plead guilty to all crimes mentioned. He didn't try, like, lie and get out, and he did actually mention that he's just glad that the authorities were able to show him basically tell him what was wrong with him and why he had, like, such impulses. Obviously, like I mentioned, for him, like, a factor into why he was murdering was he wanted sexual control over his victims. And he would actually go on to be, as described by officers that were basically prison guards, he would be a model prisoner, you know, didn't, like, just try to start a riot or anything. Like, he would do as he was told, which is, I mean, I can only imagine after you've done all that you did and you finally get caught, like, what's the point in trying to lie and get out? What's the point of acting up once you're actually in jail and stuff? So, like, I can only imagine that might have been part of it, but in 1994, he actually would get bludgeoned by a weight from the prison gym. I know I probably should have checked all names before doing this, but I wasn't, like, thinking of this as a deep dive or anything. But basically, another prisoner there, like, recognized him, and he's, like, holding up, I'm pretty sure, like, he was holding up, like, the newspaper. And he was like, hey, this you? Like, a newspaper of, like, about Dahmer's killings and stuff. And then, like, like, oh, great security. Like, okay, but, like, to me, though, like, Dahmer's supposed to be, like, a high security prisoner, but, apparently they weren't secure enough because this man was able to murder Dahmer. And, I mean, obviously, we should not feel too bad about that, but, like, I mean, he's already in prison. And, so basically, being bludgeoned, he would die on November 28th, 1994, at 34 years old, at, if I can read my own handwriting correctly, Columbia Correctional Institution in, Portage, Wisconsin. I know I'm, like, kind of... okay, I know I'm kind of keep distracted, but my dog, Cedric, he's trying to get pets out of me. He's trying to get some pets for me. But, that's basically just a short, I don't know, like, description, rant, whatever you like to call it, about, Jeffrey Dahmer, who is, I'm pretty sure, like, pretty much, like, the most well-known, most infamous serial killer in all of America, of all the U.S., so I'm just get to my outro. If my dog would let me press the stop recording button. Alright, well, I just let my dog out, so he won't be bothering me for the outro, but, I just really had to bring up Jeffrey Dahmer in this series because, well, one, his name is Jeffrey, and this is the Jeffrey Coincidence series. I'll be making a 5-episode thing where I go over all the creepy Jeffreys of the world. And he's definitely, besides the guy I'm gonna go over next episode, he is definitely the worst. Like I said, these episodes will be, the Jeffreys will be varying on how bad they are. Some will be as bad as Dahmer, where they're literally a serial killer, and some are just like creepy TikTok stars. So yeah, but I hope you found this somewhat interesting. I know I didn't go on a deep dive. If you are interested in a Jeffrey Dahmer related deep dive, I recommend the one that Call Me Chris made. It is it's very good. Like she did a good job, like going over the whole story and in just a lot of detail. So I definitely recommend you go check her video out. I found it interesting enough. I probably rewatched it like 3 or 4 times now. She also has a lot of other good like true crime stuff, but I wasn't planning on doing the deep dive, even though, as I just said, I've rewatched Call Me Chris's video on Jeffrey Dahmer a lot, so like I basically have every little detail memorized. Maybe I don't have people's names memorized, but like I know, I could literally recite almost pretty much his whole life. But I don't want this to be like a deep dive video. I just want to like just kind of cover the surface of it. I mean, if you guys are ever interested in a deep dive, I guess I could do that. Like, and not just like Jeffrey Dahmer, but maybe other ones like Ted Bundy or Ed Gein even. Maybe like even like ones that aren't serial killers, like the Menendez brothers. But yeah, that's basically the video. So yeah, I found it interesting. Make sure to like and subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye now.